third game of the World Chess Championship match. Nepomniachtchi with white and Liren with the black pieces. Coming into this game, Liren lost the second game, so Nepo is leading by 1 point. And there were some questions about Ding's sort of mental state. But, well, let's just dive into the game. And the first surprise came on move 1, d4 by Nepo. He has usually played e4 for most of his career, played it in the first game, and in, well, probably most, if not all of the games against Magnus Carlsen in the last World Championship match. So a small surprise here, and Ding took a little bit of time here before playing knight f6. But then we got stock standard stuff, c4, e6, and knight c3 and d5. This is the move order that black has been playing at the highest level to reach the Queen's Gambit declined. And, well, the Queen's Gambit has featured more or less in every World Championship match so far. Maybe all of them. I need to fact check that, but more or less all of them. So nothing out of the ordinary here. Queen's Gambit accepted. The exchange variation, white takes on d5, bishop g5. And you see the book signal on all the moves. These are all book moves, e3 and on early h6, which has been, yeah, seems like the popular move these days. Bishop e7, bishop comes out to d3, black castles, queen c2, and these are all standard moves, and sort of in this position white has to choose between plans here. He can put the knight on e2, which many people attribute to Botanic, the Botanic plan, and usually the idea there is to get castled and try to get the e4 break in, and the other move would be knight f3, when white can either go for a minority attack on the queen side or some sort of knight e5, f4 if he can, the so-called Pillsbury plan. But Nepo goes with knight g to e2, which seems to have a better reputation, or at least it seems to be recommended in every repertoire book for white for the past decade. White now castles, a5 by black, and this is usually useful move for black. Stops any ideas of white going for a minority attack, and also sets black up for grabbing some space maybe on the queen side. And now a3 by white, which surprised some people, but okay. Can't be a bad move. Knight h5, black initiates a trade here, which Nepo accepts, and rook a to e1. Now, black usually needs to solve the problem of this bishop, so he tries to do so, or starts to do so with knight to f8. Knight to c1, see some interesting knight maneuvers here. Knight back to f6, knight on the rim is dim. It kind of did its job. The idea was just to trade the bishop, so now the knight returns. f3, like we mentioned, this is usually the idea with this Botanic plan to go for e4 here. But after trading the dark squared bishops, usually black can meet this plan by going for a c5 push, which is what Ding does here. He plays c5. And now bishop to b5. And rook d8. And white takes on c5. And this gives black an isolated queen's pawn. But it looks like, the pressure against e3 sort of, weighs up against that. And after queen takes c5, white needs to protect e3. He does so by playing queen to d2. Bishop d7, more trades. And black would like to trade this bishop because we have, these pawns on light squares, and the white bishop can sort of be more dangerous, so black is happy with this trade. And now Ding surprised Nepo a little bit, seemingly, judging by the reaction of Nepo, and he took with a knight, which Nepo didn't seem to expect, but the move makes a lot of sense, because the knight can now jump into either e5 or b6, and from there the square on c4 looks like a very nice square. And the immediate thing is that, you take on d7, you leave the pawn hanging, but of course you can't take with the queen because e3 hangs, and knight takes d5 should lead into a big mess here, the knight b6, because you can't protect the knight with your pawn, it's pinned. So maybe that's why the move was surprising, because you kind of hang the d-pawn, although it isn't really hanging. So knight d4 was played, and on knight b6, and we all know where this knight is going, into c4. And actually, black is probably slightly for choice here. The knight on c4 is the most active minor piece in the position. And, you know, like I said, the weakness of d5 is countered by the weakness of e3. And here black even has a choice. In the game he played rook a to c8, but he could have taken the pawn on a3. But I think in that case we would have mass simplification. White would have to find the move e4 here, which is actually quite strong. If you take on e4, I take with a knight, and then I will win this piece here. So black needs to find something else, and probably we would have had mass trades here. Knight b5 takes, and rook after d1. And white wins the pawn back. And yeah, the game should be quite well balanced. Instead, rook a to c8 was played in this position. Knight a4 now by Nepo. Queen retreated. Rook after e1, fortifying the e3 pawn. But it turns out there's not much to do for either side here, and in this position they found a way to repeat the position. Knight b5, knight c7, offering a trade. White declines, black offers again. Back and forth, and finally the draw was agreed. Yeah, Nepo figured he couldn't really try much. And in fact, you know, if he plays something other than knight b5, computer slightly prefers black. So draw seems like a natural result at this point. And yeah, probably Ding is quite happy. You know, he gets into the match again with a good solid draw with black after the loss in the second game. And hopefully he's recovered mentally, and we get an exciting match. And I'm looking forward to the fourth game tomorrow, and hope to see you then. Thanks for watching.